Hi guys, welcome back to 100% Mag. So this is my reaction video to my Premier League predictions from the beginning of the 17-18 season. So let's get straight into the video. So we're going to start off with 20th in the league. Now I predicted Huddersfield would finish 20th, and of course they ended up finishing 16th with 37 points. Now we'll move on to 19th, where I predicted Burnley would be. Of course, they finished 7th in the Premier League and they ended up with 54 points. Moving on to 18th, and I predicted Swansea to finish 18th, which they did, and they ended up with 33 points and relegation from the Premier League. On to 17th, and I predicted Brighton to finish in this position. Of course, they finished 15th in the Premier League on 40 points. Now we'll move on to 16th, and I predicted West Brom to finish here. Of course, Tony Pulis was still managing at that point, and then of course they made the mistake by getting in Alan Pardew and John Carver, and then things went downhill for West Brom from there. So of course they ended up finishing 20th in the Premier League with only 31 points. Now we'll move on to 15th in the Premier League, and I predicted Palace to finish here. Of course, they should have probably finished a lot lower than where they did, which was 11th after the way they played at the beginning of the season. Now moving on to 14th, I predicted Watford to finish here, and they did exactly that with 41 points. Now that's 2 out of 20 already. Now we'll move on to 13th, and again I predicted West Ham to finish in 13th, and of course they did, and they finished the season with 42 points, so that is 3 out of 20 correct. So we'll move on to 12th, and I predicted Stoke to finish in 12th, and they ended up finishing 19th and went down. They ended up on 33 points, so they'll be playing Championship football next season. So we'll move on to 11th, and I predicted Bournemouth to finish here. Of course, they finished one place down, which was 12th, and they finished the season on 44 points. Now I predicted 10th place for Leicester City. They finished 9th place, and they finished the season out with 47 points. Now I predicted 9th for Southampton. Of course, they finished 17th with 36 points. Now I predicted 8th for Newcastle United, just a wild out there prediction, being that it was our first season back in the Premier League, and we did a really good season way back in '93 when we came back up to the Premier League, and we got quite high. I believe it was third, or I think it was third. Correct us if I'm wrong on that. But I predicted Newcastle to finish 8th, and of course we finished 10th, so not far off where I actually predicted, so that wasn't too bad. Everton I predicted to finish 7th, and of course they finished 8th, and Everton finished with 49 points. Newcastle, of course, finished with 44 points. Now 6th place I predicted Man United. They ended up finishing 2nd with 81 points. Then Liverpool I predicted to finish 5th. They ended up finishing 4th, and they ended up having 75 points at the end of the season. And then Arsenal I predicted 4th. They ended up finishing 6th, and then they had 63 points at the end of the season. I predicted Man City to come 3rd in the Premier League, and they ended up winning the Premier League, and the first team to ever win the Premier League by 100 points as well, which is something amazing to see in the Premier League. Of course, I predicted Spurs to finish 2nd in the Premier League, with them having 2 really good seasons previous, and they ended up finishing the season with 3rd and only 77 points. Still a pretty good season, but not as good as their previous 2. And of course, I predicted Chelsea to retain the Premier League title in 1st, and they ended up finishing 5th and with only 70 points. So Conte could not retain the title for Chelsea in his last season with the Blues. Now, them are my Premier League predictions from the beginning of 17-18. Let us know what you think down in the comments below. Of course, if we just look back over them, I got 3 out of a possible 20 correct. That is really, really good and not bad for a first season of predicting where the teams would finish in the Premier League. And also, if you look over the other ones, I got pretty close on where or whereabouts they finished. Like Everton, for instance, only 1 place from theirs. Bournemouth as well, only 1 place, so not a bad prediction. If you like the video, put that thumbs up, hit that subscription button down in this bottom right hand corner down here. Follow me on the links in the description below. Until next time, you've been watching 100% Mags, and I'll see you all later.